everybody, welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be talking about how to heal your beliefs around your body image. So this is a really big one and something I've finally managed to conquer, and it feels amazing. So I want to share this with you guys so you can also feel the same. So when I work with my clients and the research I've done and from experience from myself, 9 times out of 10, my clients say to me, I need to or I want to lose weight. And then my question to them is, first of all, what is stopping you from losing that weight, or what have you done in the past and why is it not working for you? And the second question is, why do you want to lose the weight? And most of the time, and I've been in the same boat so many times, the answer to those questions are, the question to what has been stopping you from losing the weight is normally self-sabotage, but you don't actually know why you're doing it. I've got no willpower, I just can't stick to anything, I don't even know why I can't do it, I just can't do it. So I've got this belief as you just can't, and it's too hard and all of that. And the reason why we tend to want to lose weight, when you keep asking that magic word why, it's because we think that we're going to be more valued as a person if we're smaller, or my boyfriend might like me more, or my friends will like me more, or I'll be more popular, or I'll have more opportunities when I get to my body weight, and when I get to my goal body weight, and when I lose the weight that I want to lose. And the thing is, being a smaller human physically does not make you a better person, and it doesn't dramatically change your life. And so what we do is, when we focus so intensely on the desperation to lose this weight, and then we set up all these rigid routines and regiments on achieving this thing that we so desperately want, it like flips it around, and then it makes it even worse, and it makes it even harder to stick to something, especially if you've been in constant yo-yo dieting for most of your life. The first diet you've ever done was probably quite easy, and you were excited about it, and you saw all these changes. And the more and more we fail with these diets because they're not sustainable, the more we lose confidence in ourselves. And so the more, when we focus on it, we self-sabotage almost on purpose, because we're like saying screw you to the dieting police, which by the way, the dieting police is yourself, because you've put this big ball and chain on yourself and have put all these restrictions up for you, and then you just can't seem to do it because you're putting too much attention to something you desperately want. So what I say to my clients is, and what I had to learn myself, is the problem is, well, problems, it's not actually a problem, we think it is. The problem is not how much you weigh, the problem is what you think about what you weigh, or the problem is what you think about your body weight. That's the main concern, and we need to change our beliefs around this. So we need to learn how, let me just adjust my camera, sorry guys. We need to learn how to not hate ourselves, which seems silly, but it's true, because coming from a place of hate or anxiety or shame or guilt does not create positive change. It just keeps you in the same circle. So we need to learn how to stop hating on ourselves, and we need to learn how to trust ourselves and to love ourselves in order to move forward. Because with the whole dieting and binge cycle, we feel a lot of guilt and we feel a lot of shame around this, because we put ourselves on unsustainable diets. We then fail because it's almost impossible to stick to anyway. But even if we secretly know that, we still beat ourselves up with all this guilt and shame around something that we've not been able to do. And a lot of the time as well, even if you did manage to stick to this diet or your plan that you've got to get yourself to your body goals, we often have a sense of false hope in the fact that when we reach this goal, then everything's going to be amazing. Your whole life's going to be perfect, and your relationship's going to be perfect, and your job and this, all because you've lost 20 pounds or whatever, right? So when you do reach this place, and I've been there, if you followed my story, you'll know I've been overweight, severely underweight, I've been muscly, I've been normal, I've been everything, right? And I can tell you from experience that although I got a lot of external validation when I looked like the Society's ideal way, your life doesn't change. In fact, it doesn't get better at all, because you have a new set of obsessions to keep this body image that you've got, and it's just false hope. And when you get to that stage and you're kind of like, oh, well, now what? I'm kind of here, and yes, I may have a smaller body, but because you've not worked on your inner self, you're still going to feel the same emptiness. So then what tends to happen is you tend to start eating the foods that you've restricted for such a long time, and you just turn to food and emotional and binge eating again, because that's all you've ever known, and you've not worked on that part of your relationship with food. You've just worked on the physical restriction in order to change your physical body. So it needs to come from a deeper place than just what you look like, right? So what I'm getting to is we need to learn how to love ourselves. And the thing is, what I desperately want for you guys, and it's the place where I'm at now, I want you to not even be bothered what your body weight is. Because when you get to that place, it feels so free and so amazing. I can't tell you enough. Like, a whole new world opens up to you. I was going to start singing Aladdin then. A whole new world. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, a whole new world opens up to you. And it's amazing, because all in your dieting days, you're like, I'll do this when, or I'll lose the weight. I'll do this when I've lost the weight. But you're putting your life on hold for what? Just to be physically a little bit smaller. So we really need to look at why we want to lose weight, and first of all we need to learn how to love ourselves and change our beliefs about ourselves. So I will tell you how we can do that. We need to give ourselves permission to accept ourselves exactly the way we are. And it's funny, the word permission, because for so long, our whole lives, because of the way society is, and because we do need to learn how to be a respectful human being as we're growing up, we're always waiting for permission. Permission from your parents to have another sweet or another chocolate bar, permission from your boss to leave early, permission to do this or that. So we tend to wait and to get external permission to be able to do something. But if we give ourselves our own permission to fully accept ourselves exactly the way we are, then magic things happen. So we need to work on our beliefs, and I talk a lot about beliefs because beliefs are the invisible force behind your actions, and your beliefs are the glass ceiling to your potential. So what I mean by that is, first of all, what is a belief? A belief is something that you've told yourself over and over again inside your head, or other people can have an impact on your beliefs. If you were told when you were young, when you went swimming, for example, oh, you look fat, or look at that fatty, or whatever. For a start, fat is a descriptive word, like tall or short, or blonde or brown. It's only because of society's fat phobia, which has caused us to hate the word fat, because it's seen as an insult, which is just ridiculous if you ask me. But if someone's told you that, especially when you were a child, that becomes a belief for you, and then you'll never move past that. Even if you've tried so many diets in the past and they've been really so restrictive, and you've not been able to stick to it, and then you've binge ate and then put even more weight on, and you have so much shame and guilt around that, then guess what? Going forward, you're going to have all of this shame and guilt, and that's going to stop you from moving forward. You're just going to be in the same cycle. We need to learn how to release the beliefs that we have about ourselves in order to change and move forward. And I'll tell you a really interesting fact about the subconscious mind and beliefs. I talk about this a lot, I do know, but up until you're 8 years old as a child, your brain frequency level is the same frequency as when we meditate. And what does that mean? So what that means is when our brains are generating this kind of frequency, like I'm doing like a, energy, and those who can't see me on a podcast, I'm doing something really weird with my hands right now. It's a meditative state, and what that means is anything that we see, feel, hear around us up until we are 8 years old, we absorb all of that into our subconscious without any option to reject it, because that's how we are until we're 8 years old. So this is why whatever you experience in childhood is so powerful and has such an effect on how we are as adults. But becoming aware of this, we can then do things to change it. So what we need to do is change our beliefs about ourselves and learn how to love ourselves. So how do we do that? So grab your journals for a start, and I want you to write down the art of healing, and then write the word art, like with the A, the R and the T again, so down in a vertical line. So write that down, and then I'll say what I want to say. So first of all, what we need to do is acknowledge, that's what the A stands for in art, we need to acknowledge our feelings. So it's okay to have felt a bit shit if someone says something mean to us, or it's okay to feel shameful. We just need to acknowledge that and just take time for ourselves. So acknowledge that someone said that you looked fat and that made you feel shameful or embarrassed. Okay, so acknowledge that. That's happened. I'm just going to acknowledge that that's how I felt, other than just brushing your feelings away or thinking it doesn't matter, or just not really taking the time to acknowledge that. So when you've acknowledged how you feel, which is the same as reality, right? So we can't argue with reality, because if we try to do that, we're just kidding ourselves, and we're never going to get past the first initial stage, which is acknowledgement. So acknowledge where you're at, acknowledge how you feel, and acknowledge what made you feel that way. And the next word in the word art is R, and that's R for reframe. So now we need to reframe what happened to us, and what that means is looking at it in a different light, from a different perspective, from a positive perspective. And if you can't go full on positive, then at least look at it from a neutral perspective to begin with. So we'll continue with the same example. So someone at swimming said you were fat. So let's look at that from a neutral perspective, as if you were looking into somebody else, okay? So the person who said that to you could have been in a really bad mood and just wanted to make him or her feel better about themselves, so they had to bring somebody else down, which unfortunately that's what people do, especially as children, because they don't really know what they're doing, or they've just copied something off a movie or whatever. So it's not all about you, by the way. Even though it's directed at you, it's not always about you. So just take a moment to think about that. So it could have been completely all about them, right? So that's reframing it a little bit. Then we need to move on to the T in the word art, which is tell yourself a new story. So before I go on to continue with this, we are the authors of our own life story. So what you need to decide is, when you're writing your life story, are you going to be the main character, the leading part, or are you going to be a background actor that nobody knows who they are? Because it's up to you, and we need to take full responsibility for our lives and for ourselves and how we move forward with this in order to get what we want in life. So that's a powerful question I just want you to think about. We tend to let people, circumstances and things dictate and control our lives when actually we have complete control. We just need to realise that. If you wanted to, or if I wanted to, you could just leave tomorrow to go to Bali, for example. And then you might be like, well, I can't because I've got a job and I've got kids and blah, blah. But if you really wanted to, you could work it out. You could just go. Like, I know that's a bit of a exaggerated example, but it's true. We can do whatever we want. We just have to find a way, okay? So going back to tell yourself a new story. So let's go back to the example again. So we've acknowledged the fact that you felt ashamed and sad that someone called you fat when you were swimming as a child or as a growing up child, whatever. You've reframed it a little bit as it's actually not always about you or me, it's about the person that said that to me. And then now to tell a new story about it, you could reframe to yourself, well, do you know what? There has been, there is, and they always will be people of all different shapes and sizes, and that's the beauty of life because everybody is different, and who decides what's right or wrong or what's attractive or what's not attractive, okay? So who decides that? You decide that. You whatever you want to be the truth, hold on, let me get this right, whatever you believe is the truth for you. That's, how amazing is that? So whatever you choose to believe is the truth about everything. It's just mind-blowing, that is. So you could reframe this with telling a new story. Like I was saying, everyone's different shapes and sizes. The world's a beautiful place because of that. My body is actually amazing because it keeps me alive every second of every day. It allows me to experience life and to feel feelings and to just be alive. And also, that person, what they think about you is none of your business, and it has everything to do with them and not you. That's the most powerful thing. And this is what we call mindset work. It's the thoughts you tell yourself and the way you see the world is what ultimately has a difference to your life going forward. You need to learn how to be your own best friend, because when you reach this place of self-love, which I can help you with that, because there's a lot of it's not going to happen overnight. I'm not going to lie and say you're going to have 1 week's coaching with me, or you're going to read a positive post or listen to this podcast and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm so in love with myself. No, it takes work and it takes time and it takes help and coaching. But if you want it enough and you're coachable and you're willing to do what me or what somebody else in that profession tells you to do or suggests that you should do in order to heal and love yourself, then you will love yourself. I was determined to love myself when I hired a coach. And I'm not just saying this because I want you to hire me as a coach. I would love to help you, but do whatever you need to do to love yourself, because once you do, you're like unstoppable in life and it's so free. And you get to the stage where the weight that you've wanted to lose, the weight that you've been holding on to through all this diet and binge cycles, like I say, it's okay to want to change your body, but you've got to come from a place of self-love and not self-hate. And the funny thing is, when you come from that place of self-love, you actually don't really care that much about your weight, but the weight comes off anyway, but you're not even that bothered. It's like a really weird thing, because for so long, I need to lose this weight, I need to lose this weight, I'm going to be so much happier when I lose weight, I need to lose this weight. And then when you've lost it, you put it on again anyway, because you've not worked on what's in here and what's in here for yourself. You've just worked on the external thing. So you're never happy. But when you learn how to be happy with yourself, not just your body, then everything falls into place and it's like amazing. And I know you're probably sitting there or standing wherever you're doing thinking, but Victoria, I will love myself when I've lost 20 pounds, or I just know that I'll feel so much better about myself when I've lost this weight. No, because it doesn't come from that way. You need to flip it around. Once you learn how to love yourself and accept yourself exactly the way you are, you can then move forward to change. If you're trying to change in order to love and accept yourself, it ain't going to happen. No matter how much you think it's going to happen, it's not. Trust me, I've been here so many times. And why are you listening to this now or watching this now, right? Because what you've been doing is not working. So trust me, I feel a bit emotional, but you need to love yourself in order to make change, and your weight won't matter to you anymore. I mean, would you say to your best friend, yeah, sorry, I can't be friends with you anymore, you've put like some weight on and you've gone up a size in a pair of jeans, so just not feeling it right now, can't be seen with you? Of course you wouldn't. Well, if you would, then you seriously need to sort your shit out. You wouldn't. So you deserve to be spoken to the way you speak to your best friend, more so, because you are going to have you in your life for the rest of your life, because you are you, and you should be your best friend because you're together forever, which sounds all weird, but it's true. If you work together as you, because you're one person, but stop fighting with yourself, stop feeling shameful and embarrassed, and just get real with yourself, learn how to love yourself, and then move forward, and you can achieve anything that you want. So that's what I desperately want from you, to come from a place of love and not hate. So thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you next time. But before I go, you know this already, go out there and shine, because you are enough exactly the way you are, and you can have, be and do anything you want. So just go and get it. Okay, see you next time.